Today, we are predicting every game in Week 1. The ball is on the 25, and it is 1st and 10. Welcome back to the show. Today, folks, as we mentioned before, we have waited all year for this time. It is Week 1 of the NFL, and we are fired up, Metro and I. And we're going to dive into each one of these games, give you our picks. We're going to have a pick for every single team, who's winning each matchup, and also we'll have one lock, one guaranteed win in our eyes, one each for our own opinions, and then one underdog, a +4 or higher on the Vegas odds. Let's see how this one shakes out. But before we get into this fun madness of Week 1 predictions, Metro, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fantastic. We're going to be doing this every single week, every Thursday. We're going to be doing our weekly predictions. We also are going to have a point system, which we'll explain at the very end of the video. So if you want to stick around and see the point system, you guys can wait and see. For now, we're going to be doing this in order, starting off with the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles and ending with the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. Let's hop into Week 1.
It's time. We are going to the first game. It's NFL kickoff, baby. Dallas in Philadelphia. Ooh, the reigning Super Bowl champs and the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if y'all have seen the America's Team sequel. It's been a very fun trilogy there. I believe it's on Netflix. I'm fired up. Metro is a Cowboys fan himself. Metro, who do you have winning this game? I currently have Philly, but it looks like you might have another choice here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of people here. People are going to roast me already. We're like 5 minutes into the video. I have the Dallas Cowboys winning, all right? As a Cowboys fan, I have them winning. Now, let me explain myself. We have to do at least one underdog pick every single week, and the underdog picks this week were terrible. I literally could not think of any underdog. The closest one to me was the Cowboys potentially somehow beating the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Philadelphia is going to win, but for the sake of doing an underdog, as a Cowboys fan, you guys know I had to get my Cowboys there. Look, do I think they're going to win? No. I think they're going to get smoked. But if Micah Parsons get paid, which is a big question mark at this moment, I think they have a shot. One of the things with Philadelphia that I am excited for, but also a little bit concerned with, is all the new faces on the defense. I mean, obviously, you have your Jalen Carters, your Quinyons, your Cooper DeJeans of the world, but you also have a couple of new faces that are going to be playing big-time roles. And I could see a path for Dallas to really get going offensively with Pickens and CD having a field day out there and maybe giving Dallas the win. Dallas has played Philadelphia pretty competitively when they have been healthy, which has been not very common lately, but they'll be healthy in Week 1. So, look, if Micah doesn't play, they have no chance. But with Micah, you never know. So my underdog of the week is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not feeling too great about it, though. But, Cade, you have the Philadelphia Eagles winning. Do you care to state your case as if you really have to?
I don't really have to, guys. Eagles defense is going to put belt to ass on this younger Cowboys O-line, and I think they'll eventually be pretty good here, the wall of Tyler, but this is a rough way to figure it out and start your season, and you win games in the trenches. That's all I got to say, but I respect the underdog pick by you, so we're going to finish here with Metro as an underdog for Dallas, and I'm going to take the Philly Eagles in just a regular schmegular pick. Let's go on to Friday. This is a Thursday game. Now we have a Friday game, and this one's in Brazil. Yeah, I said that right. We are in Brazil again, just like last year. Friday, September 5th, Kansas City is playing the Los Angeles Chargers at 7 p.m. on YouTube TV. We, as in Metro and I, both took KC in this game. Metro, this is a big-time in-division rival, and this probably will have a lot of emphasis on the playoff picture 17 weeks later. What's the X factor in this game in your eyes?
Well, if LA wants a chance to win, the offensive line has to stop Chris Jones up the middle, and they have to be able to effectively establish the run. My concern is because Rashawn Slater's now out, not going to be there. You have a couple of new guys filling into new positions, and I just have a feeling they're not going to be able to quite put it all together this early into the season. It's also a really weird game where you're traveling over to Brazil, not your home stadium, which, LA doesn't really have a home crowd because it's, San Diego fans. But, regardless, though, now you're playing in Brazil. And I got to think that Brazil is going to probably favor Kansas City because they've won the Super Bowl the past few years. So I think that might be a bit more of a heavy crowd favoring Kansas City. And I just think for LA, it's a tough task to go up against a pissed off Kansas City team that, obviously their last game was, the Super Bowl where they got smoked and they're going to be pissed off in this one. I just think LA has too many obstacles to overcome with this one. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think Kansas City will win, but it'll probably look very similar to what we saw last year where they were just kind of, thug it out type of games.
Love that. For my X Factor, for my opinion, great analysis, Metro. When you add in factors of it's in Brazil, who are they going to be rooting for? Is there a home crowd advantage? It's going to be weird and something they're not used to, especially for the first game of the season. I'll take the guy in the league, the one guy in the league who is ice-blooded, cold in the veins. He doesn't get shaken. He is unshaken all times on the field. Patrick Mahomes, I'm referring to. It's a kind of a basic pick here, but I think against all factors, he's going to be able to tread through the storm and be just fine. Anything else on this game, Metro, before we go to our Sunday slate?
No, it would be a fun game. By the way, Brazil had a great game last year with Philadelphia versus Green Bay. I'm expecting another really fun game here. So to the fans in Brazil, whoever might be watching this or maybe watching the game, hope you guys have fun and, take care of our guys, please. It's going to be a fun game, though.
It's going to be a great one. Let's go to Sunday. It's noon. This is like Christmas morning for me, Metro. I don't know about you, buddy. I hope you got the get the pregame food ready. Right, we got buffalo dip. We got the snacks, the chili. We're ready to go, and it's noon kickoff. We're starting with Tampa Bay going to the Atlanta Falcons. Metro and I, we split here. Split decision. Metro took the Atlanta Falcons at home. I picked the Tampa Bay Bucs on the road. I'll let you start, Metro, because you are the home team. What do you see here for the Atlanta Falcons, and why do they win?
Yeah, I think the biggest reason why I have them lose, or why I have Tampa Bay losing to Atlanta, when you look back at 2024, Atlanta was able to find a lot of success versus Tampa Bay, even despite the quarterback play not being particularly great. In Week 5, they lost in overtime, 36-30, and in Week 8, they lost 31-26 to Atlanta, and that was with, I believe, Kirk Cousins in both games. Now I'll say this, I do believe Tampa Bay is the better team. I think that Tampa Bay will win the division ultimately. But something about Atlanta, they just kind of have the number of Tampa Bay, especially last year. So I'm kind of expecting something similar to that. I also think, you're at Atlanta. Michael Penix is making, I guess now his first official season start. So he's going to be fully ready to go. Played really good last year in the short amount of time we got to see him. So I think he's going to be ready. Pretty interestingly, he's one of the only young quarterbacks that did not play a single snap in preseason. So that tells me that they're feeling pretty confident about the guy. So I'm gonna kind of read the tree leaves a little bit there and pick Atlanta to win this one. I think they have the firepower. I think they have some guys defensively that can get after the quarterback. And Tristan Wirfs is also not gonna be there. So I'm gonna go with Atlanta here.
Big factor you just mentioned right there with Tristan Wirfs. Guys, Metro's a really smart guy, but he's completely wrong here, and I'm going to tell you why right now. The Tampa Bay Bucs, all jokes, buddy. Tampa Bay Bucs here, they're taking it home because Baker's feeling dangerous, but more importantly, I think Todd Bowles gives Michael Penix Jr. hell opening the season. He's going to have all the tricks in the bag that he's not going to be ready for to call these, not coverages, but shift the O-line, cover these blitzes, and adjust on the fly. I don't think Penix will be quite ready for a Todd Bowles Sunday noon game, and that's why I have the edge here for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Anything else here, Metro, before we go to our next one?
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be, one of those super tight games? Do you think they're going to get a bit of a blowout here? A little bit of a rain on Michael Penix's parade type of game?
I think that Penix will have the ball in his hands for the game-winning drive, but Bowles is going to get to him on third down, and some blitzes are going to be drawn up.
That'd be pretty fun. That'd be a great way to start the week off. All right, cool. By the way, a ton of in-divisional matchups here. These first four, we're going to get to the next one, all in-divisional matchups, so pretty cool stuff so far.
Insane. As you mentioned, here's another individual matchup. The Cincinnati Bengals go on the road. We're going to Cleveland. We're going to the Browns. It's noon. And, sorry, I had to. I absolutely have to every time.
All right, LeBron.
All right, LeBron. Cincy and the Bengals. Well, Cincy is a Bengal. Bengals and the Browns. We both took the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't mean to upset any Cleveland fans, but obviously here. But, Metro, what do you think is the reasoning that you give the edge here to the Bengals?
I got to be honest with you. I don't feel great about this pick. The more I think about this Bengals team, the more I feel really bad about them. They got the big three. They have their three top guys, but outside of that, I mean, it's a whole lot of a whole lot of I don't knows. And I'm going to assume, and I'm praying, that Trey Henderson is ready for this game. But I don't know at this stage. I don't believe he's got a contract situated, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Maybe by the time this video comes out, maybe by the time it comes out, maybe a deal is done, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not feeling really good about this pick, but I am feeling that Cincinnati can just score enough points offensively, and I just don't think Cleveland has the offensive firepower. Honestly, I actually think that Cleveland has a decent shot at winning this game because I think that they can score on that Cincinnati defense, I think they can score on Cincinnati. But at the end of the day, it's Jamar Chase, it's Joe Burrow, it's T. Higgins. Those guys are just going to find a way to win. And in the 2 games last year, the Bengals did win both those games, but they weren't necessarily blowing them out. A 21-14 win in Week 7, then a 24-6 win in Week 16. So, we'll see if Joe Flacco can make some magic, but I'm going to pick the Bengals to win. But I'm not feeling terribly great about it, to be honest with you.
Devil's advocate. Have
You're
the
feeling
Bengals
good?
ever? What'd you say?
You feeling good about this?
Have the Bengals ever started hot, ever, in a season?
Ooh,
it's been a long time.
Let's see.
And obviously they were playing their starters this preseason to kind of make up for that and start hot then, rather than try to get it going in Week 1. But listen, I don't want to pick Cleveland like they're some superpower team. They got a lot of shit they need to work on. But if you're going to go with an underdog here, not a bad pick. None of us have it here, but just wanted to call that out.
Yeah, they since 2021, which was Burrow's first fully healthy year, they started the season off 5-4 through the first 9 weeks. In 2022, they started the season off 5-4 again through 9 weeks with an 0-2 start in the first 2 weeks. 2023, they start the year off 5-6 at one point through 12 weeks. And in 2024, they started the season off 4-8 by week 13. So
Woof.
You're not lying. They haven't really been able to get things going, but one consistent thing is that they've pretty consistently beaten Cleveland for the most part. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, even though they are struggling, they're either splitting or they're winning both. So I'll put my faith in Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. I think and like you said, they did play throughout the preseason, like a lot of snaps. So maybe they might feel a bit more dangerous when they get to Cleveland.
Dangerous. I love it. Very good breakdown right there. Let's go to our next game. We have Miami Dolphins going on the road to play the Indianapolis Colts at noon. Metro and I, look at this. We are split on this game as well. He has the Indianapolis Colts at home. I have the Miami Dolphins on the road. Now, Metro, I've been letting you go a lot here first. Catch me up to speed here. Isn't Tyreek Hill kind of hobbled right now? Is he hurt? Is he fine? I'll take a look at this. I've heard some things, but want to confirm. What do you say, sir?
See. He was held out of practice. So
okay.
We also got a fake report that he got traded to Minnesota, which gave me a heart attack for a second. I was like, whoa, that shakes things up.
What do you mean? But my case here is I think if the Dolphins are good at any time, it's in September, and in a dome will be good to them. And I'll take Tua over Daniel Jones any day of the week in September, period, rest in case. But you go ahead, Metro. You probably got a much better analysis right here. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, your analysis is sound. Miami plays well in domes. They play well in AC. they play well in the heat. They play fine against defenses that don't have everything figured out. My philosophy is I just think Indianapolis is the better roster. I think they have a better overall team. I don't like Daniel Jones starting. If you guys keep up with my channel, you guys know I went on a rant about Anthony Richardson, who should be the starting quarterback week 1. I won't go too far into that one. I just, my Daniel Jones hate train is officially started. I now hate Daniel Jones more than I hate Jackson Dart, which is saying a lot because I don't like Jackson Dart, but he's shut me up lately. So I'll keep quiet on him. But now I'm going to start the Daniel Jones hate train. Look, I don't like Daniel Jones. I think that offense, isn't going to be particularly great, but that Miami Dolphins defense is, they ain't covering nobody, all right? They ain't covering nobody. In Indianapolis, they got like 4 really good receivers and an excellent tight end. And for Daniel Jones, it's just don't throw interceptions, don't fumble the ball, run the ball effectively. And I think Shane Steichen has a lot of pressure on his By the way, this is 2 head coaches with a lot of pressure to win this game. So it'll be actually pretty interesting. Shane Steichen, Mike McDaniel, maybe arguably the 2 hottest seats right now besides like Brian Dable. But honestly, I feel like Brian Dable has kind of cooled down a little bit, I don't know about you.
The team is assembling, man. They look kind of nice in the preseason, man. They're preseason warriors this year.
Yeah, they dominated the preseason, and I think that dude Brian Dable was smoking victory cigars after each Jackson Dart drive. It was like, oh, I just got myself an extra week.
One more year. God bless.
Yeah, but McDaniel and Shane Steichen, this is actually quite a fun game here. Like, obviously neither one of these teams are title contenders or anything like that, but, two head coaches on the hot seat, kind of a fun little storyline here. Obviously I think Tua is the better quarterback. I think Miami has a good offense. I think they can score, but I just think Indianapolis is the better roster. I think they can run it. I think that Jones just is fine.
I like how you broke down the hot seats, Metro. The NFL scriptwriters truly are working overtime every year. Like, they're so damn good at their job, man. Anything else you got in this game? It's going to be a fantastic matchup with a whole lot of hot seat on the line.
So you pick Miami. Do you think Miami is able to pull off the blowout, or do you think it's just sort of a 21-14 type of game?
Like you mentioned, that Indianapolis defense made some good acquisitions this year. They got a good safety, a good corner. I like their defense overall. They got Buckner up front. I like their squad, man. I think they're solid. I think they're stout. I bet it's a win by like 7. I just think they outpace them on offense, but defense keeps it within range.
If there's one thing that Dolphins team can do, they can outpace you. They got the
That's
athletes,
about all
man.
they can do.
That's all they can do. All right, yeah. Let's move over to the next one here. Well, this is not a divisional one, but another fun game.
Another fun game. Let's go to this next one. We have, hello here. Whoop, I got a little bit backwards. Here we go. We get the Las Vegas Raiders going to the New England Patriots. And man, oh man, I believe we went Splitsville on this one too, Metro. I took the Patriots at home, and you took the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm so excited for this game. It's going to be like two teams that are a little bit feisty this year, a little bit competitive. I don't see them making the playoffs, essentially, but they're going to break some hearts this year. Metro, you took the Vegas Raiders. Why would you do that? And also, just give me a breakdown.
Yeah, like you said, these are two teams that will be competitive next year, but I don't necessarily think either will make the playoffs. If there was going to be a team to make the playoffs, I would probably pick New England, but I don't think they will. You picked New England. I picked Las Vegas. I just personally believe that, I know that New England made improvements on the offensive end, but for as bad as Las Vegas' defense is, I just don't think that New England can really exploit it this early on. Now, if New England goes out the gates and just firing on all cylinders, then the Raiders might have a tough one here. But I think that the Raiders' defense could just hold up enough. I don't think they're going to be good. And I think offensively, I like what I saw in the preseason. Geno Smith looked comfortable. Brock Bowers was making some just incredible catches, and I think Gentry started to look really good down the stretch there. So I think they have that offense really humming right now, and that's kind of why I picked them. I prefer their experienced roster a little bit more so than New England's, which I think New England will be the better team this year, but just not early on. So I'm picking Las Vegas, but I also think it's a bit of a coin toss.
I'm with you, man. If Vegas can win some games, it'll be when their superstars are healthy and they're kicking ass early in the season. So very respectable pick. It's pretty much 50-50 on my end, too. I went New England because I think this is a Drake May emergence game a little bit here. I'm not quite scared of Vegas' defense, and I think it's a good opportunity for Drake May to do some nasty work with his new weapons in Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, and, of course, Travion Henderson. The list goes on. I think the O-line can find themselves in this game, too, maybe get some momentum going, but that's just kind of my advantage I see here, and you stated yours as well. A good game, though. This would be like a big deciding factor. Who's more dangerous? Who's coming for throats earlier in the season? We'll be on the lookout for this one for sure. Anything else here on Metro?
No, look, I don't know what you said. You're right.
I said anything else here? I don't know. I messed it up.
Gotta lock in. One thing I'll say, Las Vegas, they feel like they have an energy about them. Now, maybe they have the same energy every year, but I feel like this year specifically, you saw Geno Smith flipping off fans. They just have some sort of motion going on right now that's like, I think they might come in with some fire, and then they'll probably end like 4-13. But they'll come into the season with some fire. People forget they beat the Ravens last year somehow, some way. So
this is true.
Yeah. Two fun teams. New England's probably the better team on paper, but I think Las Vegas has the veteran experiences. So it'll be a fun game, though. I think it'll be a really close game.
Beautiful. Let's go to the next one. We have the Arizona Cardinals, a sneaky team to be upgraded this year. Arizona Cardinals going on the road to the New Orleans Saints. It is in New Orleans, as I just mentioned. It's at noon. We both have the Cardinals here. Metro has his lock of the week, so he has potential minus points here if he gets this wrong. It's a lot at stake. I just took them here to win the game. Metro, why are you so confident, and what is the big X factor here for you have here for the Cardinals against the Saints?
Yeah, again, this is my lock of the week. We'll explain how the points work at the end here, but yes, look, it was really between a few matchups, and this is probably the one that I feel the most confident with. I just don't think New Orleans has the offense to keep up with Arizona. Arizona could shit the bed and, can make it look really stupid because they can do that sometimes, but I don't think they will. I think there's a lot riding on the year for Kyler Murray, and he's got a great chance here to go into New Orleans, a defense that is just not very good right now. I mean, they have some pieces. They have some vets in the secondary like a Justin Reed and, maybe a Chase Young could have a good day, but I just think that they don't have the dogs back there. I think Arizona has it. They have more on the line. And I just think, if Kyler Murray comes out there and, Arizona stinks it up, then that would be a terrible way to start your year off. And I think, you're going up against what I assume will be Tyler Shock. He hasn't had a great preseason, but I think he's done enough to win the job, and I think they want him to win the job. So I think you're probably going up against Shock. If it's Rattler, it doesn't really make a difference for me, but I just think that New Orleans can't score more than 20, and I think Arizona can, so I'm going with Arizona.
Hey, when you put it like that, it is pretty simple. But as you mentioned, Arizona does have kind of a track record to be like, oh, who is this team? They look amazing, and then just fall flat on their face the next week. Does that happen in New Orleans with a rookie quarterback? TBD, we'll find that out. But I'm with you, Metro. I think they outpaced them pretty well here and take this win comfortably on the road. Anything else in this game?
No, you talk about going like having a really good couple games, then just shitting the bed the next few weeks. Look at the start to their season last year. They put up a fight against Buffalo. Then they destroy the LA Rams. Then they lose 3 of their next 4. And they lose 42-14 to Washington. They lose 34-13 to Green Bay. But you know what, dude? When they're down, they get right back up because then they went on another 4-game win streak, went on a bye, and lost 3 straight. So we'll see. This Cardinals team is funny, man. They're a funny team.
They're just hot or cold. Don't catch them on a hot streak, man. You are in trouble. They will not settle for a loss. Let's go to our next game. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. The scriptwriters, again, going to work, going to the New York Jets. They're going to New Jersey at noon. You got Rodgers going to play his old team with his new squad. The Unction and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to play the Jets. We both selected the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Metro, weird feelings in this game. You got Aaron Glenn with his new team as the head coach for the Jets. And then you got Tomlin trying to make some shit happen here with the Steelers. They want more than mediocrity this year. And they make a couple big trades this year and acquire a new quarterback. What is the pivot point in this game? And how do you think it shakes out? Is it close? Is it far? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate X factor here is just going to be the crowd. How much they boo Aaron Rodgers is going to be so fun. I'm sure they're going to boo the crap out of him. Which is, maybe a little bit undeserved. But, yeah, I think Pittsburgh wins this one pretty easily. I just don't think the Jets are particularly that great of a team right now. I think they have some defensive line issues, and especially in the middle. I don't love their secondary outside of Sauce. I like their linebackers, of course. I think they have some pieces on the offensive line. Not a big fan of Justin Fields, and I just think Pittsburgh has the guys defensively to really make life difficult for Garrett Wilson and Fields, and they just don't have enough guys right now. They're going to try to run the football, and I think Pittsburgh's just not going to have it. I think Pittsburgh's going to handle them pretty well. I think it'll be a bit more of a defensive shootout, and if you're asking me who I trust more, Aaron Rodgers, even though he's 40, or Justin Fields, obviously I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers. So this was a game here that I also considered for my lock of the week, but I felt a bit better about Arizona just because, it's in New York, so you never know.
If the Jets win, because I'm just trying to find the path, Rodgers in his older age, he doesn't like to get hit. If you can get in his head and hit him a couple times in the backfield, not even like a sack, but just hit him as he throws it, now we're talking about he's not going to look downfield as much. He's dinking and dunking, not being aggressive. That's the recipe to success here for the Jets, and I'm pretty sure Aaron Glenn knows that. Get after the quarterback, bring 5 or 6. Yeah, he's going to gash you in a couple plays, but late in the game, he may get pretty conservative. You can make some points happen and win this one. Anything else got here, Metro, on this throwdown for the Unction versus the Jets?
No, I mean, you talk about the scriptwriters cooking. This is a fun schedule so far, and we get the drama between Pittsburgh and New Jersey, so that'd be really interesting.
It's going to be great, man. Let's go to our next game. We have the New York Giants going on the road to play the Washington Commanders. Who picked who for this game? We have Metro going with the Washington Commanders. And then for the underdog of the week, I took the Giants. I like their defense. I think Dart hasn't looked horrible, even though I'm pretty sure he's not going to be starting whatsoever. It's going to be a fun one. Metro, how close is this game? We obviously know Washington's the better team here, right? They went to the NFC Championship last year, but how close is it? How does it end up?
Yeah, I also considered doing this for my underdog of the week too, but I wanted to mix it up. I didn't want two on the same team, so I switched it to Dallas. But I do think the Giants genuinely have a chance in this game. I genuinely believe that if the Giants won this game, it would not shock me in the slightest. I think the Giants are being heavily slept on, and no, this is not some sort of bias from the preseason. I've been pretty consistent about the Giants being actually kind of an underrated team. Their schedule is brutal, so I think their record will not indicate them as underrated. But I think when you actually sit down and watch the games, maybe you might see this team really look pretty sharp out there. I just think, look, the Giants have the dogs in the defensive line to get after Washington, to get after Jaden Daniels. I went with Washington because I'm just going to play it a bit safe here. I think Washington has the better quarterback play. I think they have a good enough offensive line to slow down all the dudes on their defensive line. And I think, look, if you get Terry McLaurin going out there, you have some weapons out there too. Maybe Deontay Banks does not play well. And Washington defensively is full of a bunch of veterans, with New York having some younger guys. So that's why I went with Washington. But, you can talk about the Giants potentially win this one, because I actually think there's a pretty clear path to victory for New York.
Path to victory, in my opinion. I'm not banking on the New York Giants offense to really do shit. I think you win here with your excellent young defense. And excellent's probably a really strong word, but I do firmly believe in the talent here on this defense. You have a bunch of great young pass rushers. If you can win first and second down, the rushing yards, you can hold them to a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 6. Now we can let the dogs go and get after the quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Hit him, take him down, put some pressure on him. He doesn't take pressure. He takes pressure with pretty much ease, but if we could sack him a couple times, now we can win this game and get ahead. So that's my formula to success. Win on 1st and 2nd down. Force 3rd and longs where he has to hold the ball and can't make a quick decision, and therefore we sack the quarterback and move along. Seems real simple, but that's the path to victory, and that's why I have them here as my underdog of the week. Anything else here, Mr. Metro?
Yeah, I want to say I have two things to say. For starters, last year in the two games they met up, Commanders won twice, but they won 21-18 and 27-22. So very close matchups there. And the next thing I want to say, Tunsil led the league in penalties last year from offensive linemen. I think that this is one of those games where Tunsil needs to, keep those hands off, man. No more holding, no more false starts, because you might cost Washington the win here. So some little subplots to keep an eye on. I would lean Washington, but if you want to put in an underdog pick, New York Giants there, they might not be a bad one.
Fire me up, and great call out on the penalties there for Tunsil. Let's go to our next game. It's going to be the Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are in Jacksonville. Metro and I are split here. I took the Carolina Panthers. Metro took the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. To set the stage, these are two very similar teams, two offensive-minded head coaches. You got a first overall pick at quarterback. You got some cool talent there out on the edge at wide receiver. And the rest is, yes, not everything's in question, but the rest is kind of in question. But that is the identity of your team. We're high-flying. We're going to make plays. We're going to score points, or prove, hopefully, that we can score points. Metro, why did you take Jacksonville, and why do you think they are better than Carolina in this matchup, sir?
Yeah, I think it's a tough matchup. These are two teams with bad defenses. I think Jacksonville has a little bit more talent defensively. I think they actually have some good pass rushers and, a handful of guys here and there that can play. We'll see how Travis Hunter, works in this one. I'm sure he'll be probably working both sides. And, I think he can work totally fine in coverage. And, I just think Carolina, there's a lot of pressure on them to succeed this year, but I just think Jacksonville has a good chance of winning this one. By the way, talk about great storylines here. Trevor Lawrence trying to make himself look valuable from, former first overall pick, and same with Bryce Young. Both guys kind of fighting to prove themselves right now. So kind of an interesting matchup here. Both teams need the win here. Both quarterbacks need to play well. I think Jacksonville offensively can score, and I think Carolina's defense is really just not that good. I think Carolina offense can also score. I just believe a bit more in Liam Cohen as a play caller, more so than I do with like a Bryce Young leading their team. So I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence with Travis and BTJ. And although I think Carolina could also win, this is another one that felt a bit like a coin toss too.
I agree with your analysis there. I'm just banking on Bryce Young simply. The same way he finished the season last year, I expect him to come out on fire in 2025. That's my bet, and that's why I picked them here. Carolina against Jacksonville. I have Carolina. Metro is Jacksonville. Let's go to our next game, which is going to be the Tennessee Titans go on the road to play the Denver Broncos. Cam Ward's getting baptized in the fire with this defense in week 1, and here we go. Metro and we both took Denver. I took Denver as my lock of the week. Metro, put yourself in the mind of a Greg Jennings. All jokes. Put your mind of a Cam Ward. What do you see in this game, and who are you most scared of on defense?
Oh, man, this is, you want to talk about a brutal way to start your career? You're going to Denver, going to Mile High, where the air pressure and all that stuff is all crazy over there. You're going up against probably the best defense in the NFL with 4 dudes who can consistently get after you. Your offensive line is not that great. This is a recipe for disaster for Tennessee. Look, could Tennessee come out there and make some plays to keep it competitive? Maybe Denver's not executing to the highest mark in week 1. That's totally possible. But, man, if there's a game here that I would predict a blowout, I think it would probably be this one. I think Denver handles business here. I just think that, man, it's a tough way to start your rookie season, going up against that defense with those corners, those pass rushers, that play caller and Sean Payton. I think Denver is going to be relentless here, and I think they're going to make a statement. I think they win comfortably, more than 10 points probably.
For Tennessee, you almost have to wonder if they are letting Cam Ward know. Now, he's too much competitor. You can't do that. When you go into every game, you got to expect to win, but holy hell, is this a tough mountain to climb. For Cam Ward as a coach, it is mission. Don't let him lose his confidence. Keep the playbook intact. Let's not air it out too much where he feels dumb after a 4-pick game. I think Cam Ward's a good quarterback, but you got to reel it in a little bit here. Keep his confidence. Keep his composure. It is a long season, but we have Denver here in a landslide in week 1. Next up, we have the San Francisco 40. Go ahead, sir.
Interesting. Before we get to the next one, interesting note here. The highest spread is the Broncos versus Titans at -7.5. The next closest is -6.5 with the Cowboys, and -6.5 for the Commanders. So wow, interesting. Yeah, so Commanders, Giants 6.5, and then the Broncos -7.5 favorites.
So Vegas is on our side here, it sounds like.
Yep, they are clearly.
By a landslide. Next game we have here is going to be the San Francisco 49ers going on the road to Seattle to play the Seahawks. This game is at 3 p.m., similar to the last one. We both have Seattle in this matchup. Very interesting game. A team on the rise, a team on the decline kind of in our eyes, clearly as we have them flipped here. Metro, what's the X factor here to this game for you?
Christian McCaffrey. If McCaffrey can go out there and really cook, it could become a bit more interesting of a game. I picked Seattle after I really wanted to go with San Francisco because I just wanted to believe in Purdy, Shanahan, and Christian McCaffrey, and Kittle, and all those guys. But there's a lot of questions with that receiving core in San Francisco right now. A lot of questions. Obviously Ayuk's probably not going to go. Questions with Juwan Jennings. What does Ricky Pearsall look like and is, I guess, now fully healthy rookies or second season. Questions on the offensive line. Questions on the defense. There's a lot of questions they have to answer. And, if Christian McCaffrey, if he can answer the question of is he healthy, if he's fully a go, if he's fully going and he looks like his normal self, then I think it opens a lot up for San Francisco. I just think that Seattle has been clicking very well in the preseason so far. I think defensively they look really fun. They have so much versatility, some vets, some young guys. I think they're really going to give San Francisco a true, honestly, I think they're going to give San Francisco a bit of a reality check of hey, you don't own this division no more, dog. It's your old news, man. We got Seattle now. We got Arizona. We got the Rams. I think San Francisco is they're gonna kick the bucket here with this one. I think that San Francisco loses, and I think Seattle makes a bit of a statement. This is a huge game for them to just sort of, put their stamp, before the season really kicks off. So I'm going Seattle here in terms of, just they're the more team with less questions. They're also healthier, and I just think they have a lot more going for them right now.
I totally agree with you, man. Obviously, we have the same pick here for Seattle. The thing I'll be watching personally, Sam Darnold in a new system. He was with one of the best coaches last year with Kevin on the Vikings. Different scenario now. Not the most offensive genius offensive front office, but I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles this. What do you think his stat line will be here in game one? Can I give you a line? You say under or over?
Yes, go for it.
Cool. My line for Darnold in week one. Let's go 240 yards.
240?
240.
Okay.
1 touchdown.
Under on yards, over on touchdowns. I think it's a very heavy run dose you'll see this week with a lot of Walker and Charbonnet. And then I think you'll just see Darnold dink and dunk his way downfield. And I think we'll have 215 for 2 to 3 touchdowns probably.
Any interceptions?
No, I think he plays clean football here. Look, their OC is Clint Kubiak, who I think very highly of. He looked really good for New Orleans when they were healthy, and then things fell apart there pretty quickly, and I don't really think it was his fault. He's I said this before we started recording. I'm really high on Seattle this year. They have kind of changed my opinions through training camp and preseason, and I get it, students training camp and preseason, but they look really good. They look like a really well-coached team. They look like they're understanding the system, how they want things ran. I just think San Francisco's in a bad spot, man. And also you're playing in Seattle too, which is never an easy place to play. So I'm going Seattle, man.
Let's do it. I'm aligned. Punch it in. Seattle is going to be the winner of this game. No questions asked. Let's go on to our next week here. We have we just talked about them. We have the Detroit Lions going on the road to Green Bay playing the Packers. It's 3 p.m. This one's a big-time NFC North matchup. Metro here has the Lions on the road. I took Green Bay as an awful Lions fan. Here we are. Metro, I'm just going to – I don't want to rebuttal against the Lions, so I'm going to start and then let you build my team back up. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Cool, let's do it. The Green Bay Packers. I think Love and this rushing attack is going to do damage against our defense, and we just lost Aaron Glenn. That guy could coach very well on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to have to find our way with our new coordinators, and I think it takes a little bit longer than we expect, and I don't expect them to learn that immediately against an awesome team like Green Bay. That's my thought process, but Metro, take it away. Why will my Motor City Kitties win this game?
It's going to be a tough one for Detroit. You're playing at Green Bay, open dome stadium. Green Bay's a really well-coached team with some really good players. They're going to run the football all over the field. And you have, like you said, 2 new coordinators, new OC, new DC, and a new starting center. For me, this game's a complete toss-up. I think Green Bay's really talented, but I think Detroit has the secondary to smother the Green Bay receivers. I think it's going to be quite difficult for them to get chunk plays. I think they're going to have to dink and dunk their way downfield, which they can because they have the ground game to do so. But I just think Jordan Love, I think he might have an interception or 2 that could flip the script here and allow Detroit to win the game here. My X factor is going to be the turnovers. Whoever has more turnovers is going to lose the game. I tend to believe that Green Bay is going to have more turnovers. And I think Amon-Ra, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Sam Laporta are just going to torch that god-awful Green Bay secondary. Outside of their safeties are actually pretty darn good, but their corners are suspect as hell, and I think they cook them for the most part. So that's why I'm going Detroit, but I think it'll be more dependent on turnovers more than anything.
Aligned. Want to bring this up super quick. When we did a hot take video a couple weeks ago, I said the winner of this game and the winner of the KC versus Chargers game, those 2 games I just mentioned will be the NFC and AFC championship. Hot take, obviously. Do you think that plays big time into this factor? Whoever wins it has a big advantage in playoff seeding, or no?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a divisional matchup, and you get the first little, you get the first punch in, basically. Whenever you get that first punch in boxing, you get sort of the advantage all of a sudden. You got the scorecard lead, and I think that's what it's going to be here. You only get 2 matchups versus the team, and if you lose one of them, the best you can do is draw, and the other team, the best you could do is clear them. So I think, for Kansas City, for every divisional matchup here, it's very important, especially if you want to make that deep playoff run, especially in the NFC North, where, it's going to be a gauntlet out there.
Speaking of heavyweight fights, This one's going to be excellent. The next one we have here, we got two awesome games here coming up. First one, the Houston Texans go on the road to the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to be in L.A. 3 p.m. game. I believe we both took Houston in this game on the road. Metro, you're big on the Rams, so I want to hear your breakdown. What is your X factor in this game, and why do you think Houston takes the cake here?
Yeah, I wanted to go L.A., and I think in most conditions I would have picked L.A. For me, my X factor is just I don't trust Matthew Stafford right now because of the injuries. He has been missing a lot of time, and yes, he's been back the past couple of days, but it takes time to build chemistry, to build connection, and when you have a newcomer like Devontae Adams, and I'm sure they've repped things out multiple times, but not to the same extent of like a team like Houston. My one thing that I'm really worried about for Houston, but I'm really optimistic for LA is that Rams pass rush. I think they are going to dice up CJ Stroud, but I just don't know if that Rams offense is going to be quite potent like I think they will be later in the season. So that's why I went with Houston. I just have more faith in Stroud right now over Stafford just because Stafford has not been fully healthy. And, for all I know, Stafford looks good out there and looks totally fine, and LA wins. In a normal conditions, I would have picked LA. But in these specific conditions, with it being week 1, I'm going to give the win here to Houston. I just hope that Houston offensive line can not get sacked or not have Stroud sacked, 6 times? Keep it below 4, and you're good.
Below 4 is the line. Well said, man. I'm with you. This Rams pass rush, it can get nasty out there. This win, this pick that you and I made for Houston, it's contingent for my pick that Stroud plays a near perfect game. If he has any kind of turnovers, now the Rams are cooking with gas. They are right back in this matchup. They can totally win this at home. If CJ Stroud, which I trust him on the road, can go out there, play well, not take the pressure into account, and deliver with cold-blooded nature on the line, I think Houston takes this one home. Anything else here, Metro, on this awesome matchup?
No, I 100% agree with you. I think turnovers are massive in any game, specifically with this one where the teams are really closely matched. And, Houston defense, they can force turnovers. They can get after the quarterback, and they have some guys in the secondary that are, they're optimistic when that ball is in the air. They will go out there and make some plays. So it'll be important for Stafford or, Jimmy G, whoever's throwing the football for LA to, lock in. Don't throw too many tight window throws. And if you do, throw it to Puka Nacua because that dude can catch.
He's catching the damn ball. You know that for sure, buddy.
That for sure. This next game, holy moly. Is this the
now.
AFC Championship game where we're getting a little sneaky preview?
Oh, no question, man. We got the Baltimore Ravens going on the road to play the Buffalo Bills. It is
Beautiful.
NBC Sunday Night Football at 7:20 Central p.m. Holy hell, Metro.
Oh.
This one's going to be so good. We both took Baltimore in this game.
I kind of wish that we didn't. I wish one of us would have picked Buffalo.
Watch
That
this.
would've been
I'm
kinda
taking
cool.
Buffalo, dickhead. Argue against me. Here we
All right,
go.
cool.
I'm taking
Cool.
Buffalo. You're so wrong, Metro. How did you even get to this conclusion? Because obviously Buffalo's going to win.
I picked Baltimore because I know ball. All right, Baltimore is they're stacked. All right, they got talent in every position. I think this is a fun little debate here. It has nothing to do with Buffalo, but I think the debate is for who has the best roster in the NFL. Is it Philly? Is it Baltimore? I personally would probably pick Baltimore. I just don't think Baltimore has any questions this year. Lamar Jackson. Look, you got punked against Buffalo last year. Buffalo was better than you, and Lamar played fine, but they lost the game. Josh Allen outplayed you. I think for Baltimore, you want to make a statement early on. You almost did that last year versus Kansas City. Now you get the chance to do it this year versus Buffalo. Make a statement. Kick the road off or kick the season off to a good start. And I think Baltimore wins. But this is like the definition of a coin toss game, and it's at Buffalo, which. That gives you a good conversation point.
Yeah, you handed it right to me. This game is pretty much apples to apples. Both MVP quarterbacks, both awesome rosters. They can both run the ball. There's no weaknesses here. These are juggernauts going at it. So what's the advantage? The home field advantage. This is the last year in this stadium, and it's going to be rocking in Buffalo, no questions asked. I'll take the pissed off Buffalo fans breaking chairs, tables, and what other things are in the parking lot. That's the reason I think they're going to win.
Yeah, there really is not like an analysis to this game. It's the classic debate of, I don't know, anyone can win. Like that is the whole analysis we can give you guys. These two teams are loaded with talent. It's just who shows up, who plays better, and that's really it. And for most of the time, it tends to be Buffalo, but I think this time it'll be Baltimore. So, I'm picking Baltimore. It's just one of those games where you flip a coin, and whatever team lands on it, that's the team you're going for. And mine just happened to be Baltimore.
Stay tuned. That one's going to be an excellent matchup. But this one's also amazing. Monday Night Football, September 8th. Go ahead.
Do you want to quickly explain the scoring first, and then we can get to that Monday game?
Yeah, of course, bro. Scoring as in like lock, underdog. I'll go through all that. Cool. Yeah. For each game, okay, if we get one right, it's 1 point. If we get it wrong, no penalty, just goes to 0. If you get a lock correct, it's 1 point, just like any other pick. If you get a lock incorrect, that is the big penalty because it is your lock. You have to be right. It's going to be -3. Big time loss right there. Then finally, our last option, we have the underdog pick. They have to be +4 on a betting service, which means they are an actual underdog in real life. We pick them. If you get it right, it's +3. If you get it wrong, no penalty. It's going to be 0. So just all upside there for the underdog pick. Lock, you're trying to not be wrong whatsoever, and then win is just a simple win. And that is our scoring. And we have all our picks right here on the screen. Anything else you want to mention here, Metro, before I go to our Monday Night Football game?
No, we are going to be tracking this throughout the season, and each week we'll give you guys an update on what our scores are looking like, and if the score could tell you who's a bit more accurate or who knows ball a little bit better than the other person. So we'll be tracking that throughout the season, and if you guys want to tag along, make sure to give us your predictions in the comments below, and we'll calculate your scores with our points. But let's get into this last Monday Night Football game. This is another fun game, but honestly, after the bangers we just got, a little bit more of a boring one here, but still a fun one.
I like the storyline of this one more, though, Metro. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings are going on the road to play the Chicago Bears. 7:15, it's Monday Night Football. No, as we know. The storyline here. The Lions are a damn good team. The Packers are a damn good team. The Vikings are too, but you have a quarterback shift, so things are a question, right? Not that much. They're still fantastic, but there's a little bit of a question mark here. The Bears have been a question mark for as long as time can tell, since 1985, if we're calling it what it is. Two teams, offensive-minded head coaches. One is excellent in his way. Ben Johnson will be proving himself as a new head coach now. Two young quarterbacks, McCarthy and Caleb. I will be very interested to see. This will be who takes the lead. Someone's going to come in last, and I think it's going to be Minnesota or the Bears in my eyes personally. And with that being said, this game has a ton of stuff on the line when it comes to who shows up in last in the division here, and also, more importantly, head coaching hot seats. I don't think Kevin O'Connell would ever be on the hot seat, but questions start to arise, and more importantly, the quarterback. Who is the answer? You can't come in fourth in a division and be the answer for your franchise. Even if you are playing decent, it's not getting it done. So that's the in-depth storyline here. There's more than meets the eye than just a Monday Night Football game. I took Chicago. Metro took Minnesota. Metro, take it away, sir. What's the X factor? What do you see here that favors the Vikings?
I think the X factor for Minnesota is, can they get the ground game going? Can they run the football effectively? If they can run the football, then you can get the play action. You can get the bootlegs. All the things they want to do as an offense to give JJ some really quick and easy options for him to throw the football to. You don't want to put too much on a young quarterback's plate, and I think that's exactly what Minnesota's trying not to do with JJ. I think for Chicago, we've talked about it throughout the offseason. I think they start off a little bit slow here. And this is a tough matchup. You're going up against a Minnesota defense that, they could give you so many different looks. They can give you coverage looks. They can get after you. They got some good players in the secondary, some excellent pass rushers, some new faces up the middle. And I think on the offensive end, I really trust that offensive line to get the task done, open up some lanes for Mason or Aaron Jones. And then you got Justin Jefferson. He's Justin Jefferson. Nobody can cover that guy. So that's why I went with Minnesota. I think for Chicago, if you want to win this game, Caleb's got to play a really sharp game. He's got to be able to read the defense. He's got to be, playing with some good rhythm, some good timing. And then offensive line has to do their job, which I think they will do. But occasionally, Minnesota's going to win. So this will be a chess game. This will be a really fun game. This will also be a game that will kind of tell you a lot about the NFC North. Obviously, it's just one game, but I feel like it'll give you a decent little sneak peek, I should say.
Well said, man. And I agree with you that the Vikings have the better roster. Reason I'm going with Chicago personally, I'm betting simply on Ben Johnson. You have a quarterback, uber talented, but needs to reel in some of his negatives, right? Needs to play to his strengths and stay on timing, stay on task. That is a challenge in itself. But you have weapons across the board that I have not seen in a long time on an offense. An upgraded O-line. Ben Johnson's playing Madden. Give me Ben Johnson with a controller calling whatever play he wants with an upgraded offense, an upgraded O-line. Quarterback he's got some weaknesses, right? He's got to figure some shit out, but at the end of the day, I'll be excited to see what he calls, what he tests on this Minnesota Vikings defense. I trust the play caller in Ben Johnson right here. Anything else you got here on this game? It's going to be a real fun one.
No, really fun game, and in totality, I mean, this is a epic Week 1 slate of games. I mean, there is really only 2 or 3 games this week that I think will be not really that entertaining, but even the games that aren't particularly special, there's still some stuff you can kind of take away from them, like Miami, Indianapolis. Like, that's a low-key fun little storyline there. Pittsburgh, the Jets, and Tennessee and Denver even. There's a lot of little fun storylines we can sort of nitpick here, and we also got fantasy football implications too, so I know everyone's going to be excited about that. And Week 1 is always a great week, and I hope you guys have a good time. And don't drink too much.
Don't drink too much. Keyword right there. And definitely don't drive. Keep those keys out of your pockets and somewhere safe. Let's go through all our picks one more time. I'll rattle them off and then go to Metro. Here, first week we have, actually I'll just rattle them off. That's probably going to be easier. Dallas and Philly. Metro went with Dallas as his underdog. I went with Philly. KC and the Chargers, we both went with KC. We have Tampa Bay and Atlanta. I went Tampa Bay. Metro goes Atlanta. Cincy and Cleveland, we both go Cincy on the road. Miami at Indiana. I go Miami. Metro goes Indiana at home. Carolina and Jacksonville. I'm going to go with Carolina here on the road, but Metro here will take Jacksonville at home. Las Vegas going on the road to New England. I'm going to take New England, but Metro here is going to take the Raiders here on the road. Lock of the week for Metro, we have the Arizona Cardinals going to play the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans, I didn't pick them, but we both got Arizona. Metro's going with the lock here with Arizona. Pittsburgh and the New York Jets. We're both taking Pittsburgh right here. The Giants going to the Commanders. Metro has the Commanders as his pick. I have the Giants as my underdog. Tennessee and the Denver Broncos. Denver is going to be my lock. Metro is going to have them as a win. San Francisco and Seattle. We both took Seattle here in this matchup. Shocking San Francisco at home. Detroit and Green Bay. I got Green Bay. Metro has got Detroit. Houston Rams. We have both of us going with the Houston Texans here. Baltimore and Buffalo. We go Splitsville here. Metro is going with the Baltimore Ravens on the road. I'm taking Buffalo in the Madhouse at home. And then finally, the Minnesota Vikings going on the road to play the Chicago Bears, as we just mentioned. I'm taking Chicago. Metro is taking Minnesota. As Metro mentioned, we are taking stats of all of our incorrect and correct stats this year, so you can see how accurate we are each week. We want to hear y'all's predictions for Week 1. Drop it in the comments below. Who do you got? There's so many fun games here, so many fun storylines. Let us know. We want to know from the true fans yourself. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you more than you know. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Subscribe down below. We are brand new and growing as well. Grow with us. We appreciate you very, very much. Thank you guys for watching. Have the best day. Metro, get us out of here.
Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.